Vignette 13. Attack on COD Headquarters by Mohammed Humayun Shaheen. On the evening of 13 August 1986, I led a 5-man attack on the COD headquarters in Kabul. The building of the first directorate of the COD was located near Duraliman at Alauddin in the south of Kabul. The directorate worked round the clock and was located in a well-protected part of town, map 14-4 COD. Therefore, we had to use a small group and hit the target and leave. We took an RPG-7 grenade launcher and 4 AK-47s. The plan was to sneak up on the building at night, fire a rocket at the building, and leave. In the group were my brother, Nurullah, Mamour Abdul, Shah Mohammed, and Mohammed Zahar. I had an underground headquarters at Kala-i-Chitgar village, which is located some 2.5 kilometers from the western edge of Kabul. We kept our weapons there. After each mission, we would clean and lubricate our weapons and then wrap them in cotton cloth and then put them into sealed plastic bags. We would hide the plastic bags in sewer pipes and other out-of-the-way hidden spots. We prepared for the mission, took out our weapons, and waited for dark. We left Kala-i-Chitgar in the late evening. The village is some 4 kilometers west of the target building. When we reached a concealed area outside the COD building, I put my security and RPG gunner in position. My regular RPG gunner was absent, and so I had to assign another Mujahideen to fire the RPG. Since we were urban guerrillas, we did not have much opportunity for target practice, and the gunner had never fired the RPG before. I served as his assistant gunner. I carried his rockets and helped him load the weapon. From the lights in the windows, I judged that the second floor was the most crowded and told him to aim for the second floor window. I did not have any ear protectors for any of us, so I wanted the gunner to keep his mouth open during the fire to equalize the pressure. In order to do this, I told him to loudly chant Allah Akbar, God is the greatest, 3 times before firing. My new gunner, who was a Shia, smiled and said he would do so, but would add Ya Ali at the end of the litany. My gunner aimed, chanted, and fired the RPG-7. The rocket flew, but instead of hitting the second floor, it hit the 4th floor. A major commotion ensued, but no one fired at us. We immediately left the area and withdrew to our base. Later on, we were told that more than 20 people had been killed or wounded by our attack. Commentary. There are better sites for weapons instruction and qualification than in the middle of a mission. In this case, the target was large enough that it was difficult to miss. Still, the gunner was off by 2 stories. Training to standard was a constant problem for Mujahideen commanders. The best training was conducted in training camps in Pakistan or in mountain bases. Unless urban guerrillas were sent out for training, they had very little live-fire training other than actual combat. Usually, urban guerrillas would detail a large security patrol to hold the withdrawal route. In this case, the 5-man team relied on local contacts to watch the area rather than posting route security. Vignette 14. Raid on 15 Division Garrison by Commander Akhtar Jan. The DRA 15th Infantry Division was garrisoned in Kandahar City. We had contacts within the division. In the fall of 1987, our contacts invited us to come and seize the weapons from the division's military police company. We gathered about 100 Mujahideen for the operation. I commanded a group of 15 within the larger group. We crossed the Arghandab River from our base camp at Charkulba to Baba Wali Sahib, and from there we went through the suburb of Chaunay. Local guerrillas secured our passage through Chaunay. We finally reached the division's main garrison. We waited until the moon set around midnight. The military police company building was at the end of the main compound. We crept to the building and saw that our contacts had placed a ladder against the wall for us. Some 50 of our group took up positions outside the compound, while our raiding group of 50 climbed the ladder up onto the roof of the building. Then we climbed down from the roof inside the compound walls. Some of our contacts were on sentry duty, so we had no troubles. Our contacts met us and led us into the barracks building. We assembled in a large empty room. Our contacts then took us to different rooms where the soldiers were sleeping, 5 or 6 soldiers per room. Their weapons were stored in the rooms. We took their weapons. Next to the barracks was a larger arms room. After disarming the sleeping soldiers, we raided the arms room and took hundreds of weapons. We then started carrying all the weapons onto the roof and passing them down to our fellows outside the compound walls. While we were doing this, the company political officer got out of bed and saw us. He started to make a noise, so we killed him with some of the bayonets. We finished getting the weapons out and left for our base camp. Our contacts deserted the DRA and came with us. We had some Arabs who were with us for jihad credit. They had a video camera and all they wanted to do was to take videos. They were of no value to us. Commentary. The Mujahideen penetration of the DRA was essential for successful raids like this. Entering a sleeping compound is always a high-risk proposition since someone is always awake or wakes up besides the sentries. A secure approach and withdrawal route is essential to urban guerrillas. Having local guerrillas secure the route allowed the force to bring enough people to carry the weapons without worrying about being ambushed on the way out. Chapter Commentary. Urban combat is difficult for the urban guerrilla and the regular force. Throughout the war, the Soviets and DRA were never able to completely control Kandahar and Herat. Finally, the Soviets dealt with the Herat guerrillas by bombing 75% of the city into rubble. That still failed to stop the urban guerrilla. The DRA had more success in controlling Kabul, but still were unable to stop the rocket attacks and guerrilla actions. On the other hand, surviving urban guerrillas are harder to find to interview. The urban guerrilla must be anonymous and ruthless to survive. The Soviets and DRA devoted a great deal of effort to finding and eliminating the urban guerrilla.